Hello, welcome back to Single Mom on a Farm. Today I'm going to be doing 3 or 4 videos on topics that viewers have requested. I'm going to be asking the children what their favorite thing is about our property, what their favorite thing is about homeschooling and living in a big family, and then also the 4 older kids, what they've been doing since high school. People have requested those topics. I'm just going to be grabbing the children whenever I see them free, whenever I'm just waiting for water to boil or the bathroom or whatever. So they don't know each other's answers. They don't really know I'm asking these. I kind of give them broad topics. I don't know what I'll be asking them. Sorry if they're all the same answer or not as exciting as you expect, but hopefully the video is what you want it to be. And thanks as always for watching. Asking each child what they like about homeschooling. I'm going to start with Kylie. She is 23 and I started homeschooling her from the very beginning, teaching her to read when she was 3. So she's never been in public school besides taking like an orchestra class in Utah. Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about homeschooling, or any memories you want to share, or your favorite subjects, or things, even just things you liked about it?
I loved homeschooling for so many reasons, and so it's hard to know where to start. So recently I did a couple of study abroads. I went to England for one of them and to France for another. And when I got there, we were having our classes outside of a normal classroom. You know, I'd gotten used to the pace at BYU, where you're always in a classroom and in a lecture hall for our lessons. And we went on the study abroad and we were learning about Stonehenge right there in front of Stonehenge, or we were learning about the kings and queens of England at the Tower of London or Hampton Court. And I just realized, like, this is what I got my whole growing up years through homeschool, was being able to learn not just in a classroom in a seat, but learn on site and learn in a place where you can, where it's more hands-on. And it's starting to rain now, but I love, it's so much more memorable when you're in a museum or when you are at the site where, say, this battle took place as you're learning about it. It's so much more memorable and it's so much more real. It's not just something out of a history book that feels like a world away from you. And I think homeschooling was one of the reasons why I chose my major of interdisciplinary humanities, why I chose to study history and the arts, is because I grew up with this interest in different cultures and histories and what other people's lives are like, because my mom would take us to museums and on hikes and to historic towns. And we were blessed to grow up in North Carolina, where we were right next to Roanoke and Kitty Hawk and science museums and the mountains and so much history right here. And so going on this study abroad kind of made me realize that I got to experience a study abroad my whole life. I got to learn not just in a formal classroom, but in such memorable and hands-on experiences that have just really changed the way that I think about so many things.
One of Madeline's claim to fame was that she was reading and spelling when she was 2. So it was like Christmas time. We have home videos of her reading and spelling, and she turned 3 that February. So I was always glad that she could homeschool. She could go at her own pace and do really hard spelling words when she was 5 and 6, and that was her thing. And lots of other good things. But what, Madeline, is one of your favorite things about homeschooling?
Probably pretty much the same thing, like just being able to go at my own pace. And I don't know, sometimes it was hard to like motivate myself to, get the work done and actually be learning stuff when there's not a whole lot of outside motivation. But I really loved the way that we learned stuff. Like I really loved the programs and stuff that my mom put together and all the fun activities that we got to do and the way that we were just so involved in learning about stuff. I remember one time when we were learning about World War II, and it kind of just felt like we were living during that time, and we learned so much about how they lived and the types of food that they ate and how they would have blackout drills. And so we did some of those, and we learned Morse code, and we I remember, and I just kind of felt like I was really living in the time, you know, without all the drawbacks, obviously, but it was really cool to just get to learn stuff in that experiential way. And it's always been very involving and very fun. I remember one time while we were learning about World War II, like how I just felt like we were living during that time. All of a sudden we learned that President Franklin D. Roosevelt had died, and I was just like so shocked. Like I don't know if I even knew who the president was at the time, you know, but I was just so focused on and involved in what we were learning about, that I was just absolutely shocked when he died, and I was like so sad. I was like, oh no, like he can't just die. And obviously, like, I knew that he was already dead by now, but like just the way that we learned about it, and I was so involved in what he was doing for the country and everything, and so yeah, it just like startled me to hear that, and that was just, you know, an example of how involved I was in this time that we were learning about, and I felt like I really understood what was going on. Also, just like just encourages us to learn about whatever we are interested in learning about, which has made it really easy for me to pursue different things that I'm interested in, because I'm interested in a lot of different stuff and I always want to learn a little bit about everything, and so it's cool to just get to research a lot and learn a lot and just feel like I know a lot of stuff.
You do. You're very smart.
Yo, it's Spencer. One of my favorite things about homeschooling was definitely being able to learn whatever I wanted to learn. I was able to learn about meteorology, was one of my favorite subjects when I was a kid. And so my mom just made me my own little meteorology weather course, and I can learn whatever I wanted about it. But I also learned what I needed to learn as well. She was very good at teaching me the basics of math, spelling, etc. And so I feel like I came out very much on top. When I graduated high school, I knew everything I needed to learn, but I'd also learned plenty of things that I wanted to learn, which kept me very engaged in schooling. So yeah, definitely being able to have freedom as to what I wanted to learn.
This is Alexis. She left home right after she turned 17, like a few weeks or something, and went off to college, started college right when she turned 17. And she homeschooled her whole life. So what do you like about homeschooling?
Let's see. I like getting to pick what I want to learn when I want to learn it, and helping plan out the schedules and stuff. Like geography was always fun when we got to pick which countries we wanted to teach about and which foods we wanted to make from the countries. Then I liked that because I think learning about different things is fun, and it's especially fun when you get to like be like, oh, I'm super interested in Austria, so now I'm really invested in learning this thing because I want to teach other people about it, and I think Austria is cool. So I mostly just like getting to pick what I want to learn, and when I'm super interested in something or we want to spend more time on something, then I can like stop and look up a YouTube video about how that thing works. Or sometimes I would like join my older sister and learn her science with her when I thought our younger kid science was boring or whatever.
I loved watching you guys do science together.
Uh-huh.
That was fun.
Yeah, I still remember everything she taught me about cell walls and DNA and stuff. So when I learn all of that in college, I'm like, oh yeah, the amino acids, I know how those get put together with the RNA. So, so that's fun.
I love hearing Alexis teach the other kids. What were you teaching in the car yesterday on our trip?
I was teaching them about heart attacks and how those work, and diabetes and the different types of diabetes, and insulin, and yeah, mostly that, I think. How blood works.
That's awesome.
Blood types.
Lexi has her CNA and loves learning about anatomy and the human body and nursing classes.
One thing I like about homeschooling is just because it's not in like a classroom, then, and it's not with a bunch of other people, you can have a much more personalized experience, so you can learn a lot at your own pace, whether that's faster or slower, because in a classroom and with everyone else, you have to try to make it so everybody learns, and so everybody learns differently and at different paces, so it's nice when it's just you or just a couple people where you can learn at your own pace, and then you can be a lot more efficient with your education, I'd say.
Yeah, I really like that too, especially seeing spelling. I think is one of the main things where a kid can just struggle for a long time and then all of a sudden take off and like start doing 30 spelling words every single week for a while, and then it's like, I'm so glad you're not stuck at 10. I mean, what subjects do you like to learn about?
I mean, I really love just anything cool, like, or, practical. So I like learning science stuff. I like learning a lot about, I was talking to Alexis yesterday a lot in the car about learning stuff about cars or like fixing things, just because it's really nice to know, like, if you have a problem, then you know how to fix it, or even just know what the problem is so you can figure that out quickly and get things like that fixed and not be like really lost or stressed when things like that happens. Or I really like computer programming. I think that's normally pretty fun for me, and I don't know, a lot of things.
Great. What do you like about homeschooling?
I don't know. I love doing it with my siblings a lot, and I mostly love like the freedom to like choose like which subjects I want to do first, and like if I need a break I can run outside or do something else for a minute. And like if I'm not interested in what we're learning, then my mom says, oh, it's okay, you can learn what you're interested in. So if I'm like, oh, right now I guess like I don't want to learn presidents or history or something, I'm gonna go study about animals or first aid or something else that I love. So I love that I sometimes like get to choose a bit more, and like I can learn what I want to when it's time, when I'm ready, I guess.
It's awesome. Yeah, that points out that when you're an adult, it's kind of like that. We're not usually forced as adults to learn what we don't want to. We choose our occupation and things like that. And which books do you want to read? What's your favorite thing about homeschooling?
I like that we pick our subjects each year, what we want to do, and I like being in the same classroom as my other siblings. So I like helping them, and the older kids help me. And one time I did a staring contest with Alexis during our math, while we were both doing our math on the same couch.
That's a good favorite memory. I should be asking what favorite memories are about homeschooling. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite subject?
Probably like music. I love to play the piano and the violin.
Great. This is Samuel. He is number 8, and he is 10 years old, going into 6th grade. So Samuel, what do you like about homeschooling?
I love to be able to pick my own subjects and learn about what I want. Like when I wanted to learn about the stars, then I could just find an astronomy book and read it like for the whole week, and that I can go as slow and fast as I want. Like instead of just having 1 hour of math, then I get to do my math in 20 minutes and still do the same amount of math that normal people do. And it's just fun to be with everybody else, and sometimes to like help Tilly or somebody.
Yeah, you're a good teacher, aren't you? What's your favorite subject?
Usually I'm like math or science.
Anything else you want to say? Anything other things you like to learn about science or anything? You mentioned astronomy.
I kind of like to learn about animals, and sometimes I helped, or like I did some homestead science with Kate, and just like I like learning.
Yeah, you're a good learner. Alrighty, thanks. Anderson, you're going into 4th grade, so you've been homeschooling a little bit. What is your favorite thing about homeschooling?
That we can pick whichever subjects we want, and the school day is shorter.
Great. What do you do in your free time if the school day is so short?
Play and maybe do a job.
Do some jobs. What a hard worker you are. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math or spelling.
Really?
Otherwise history.
Great. He's a really good history guy. He loves to ask questions whatever we're studying for history. He's a great speller. His best subject is probably the crafts. He's always doing arts and crafts and constructing his own whatever, garbage truck, cash register, board games. Smile. I'm talking about you. You're awesome. Alrighty, thanks so much. Talia is 7 and in 2nd grade. What do you like about homeschooling?
Well, I'm not really sure. Well, I just like you being teaching us.
You like me teaching you?
Yeah.
Aw.
But my favorite subject is geography.
Geography, what do you like about that?
Well, it's just fun to learn about the countries and states.
Yes.
And I like the papers that you made.
Do you like my papers?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're liking them to fill out. And Talia is really good at art. That's probably her best subject. And you're an excellent reader. You're learning to play the piano. And she's so much fun to have in our homeschool.